You're on with your cards. Welcome to
Smash Running! Woo!
I am your host, Paul, and we're with the other host, Justin. And today we are continuing the trend of this trilogy.
A Fear Street Part 2, 1978.
And
Return of the Music Box. More on that later.
So obviously, the events of this film actually picks up basically where the last one left off.
We finally see C. Berman. And you start seeing the hell she's been going through and everything, the life she's trying to live. She has alarms for everything.
Yeah.
And she's going to bed, and then you see someone beating on the door and trying to get in. And sure enough, it is Dina and Josh. And they got Sam tied up in the trunk of the car. And C. Berman wants none of this.
Yeah, she wants no part of it. But what makes this person, the big point is that she's the only one that survived
The camp massacre.
Well, but she's also the only one that survived
The witch.
The witch. So she's going to play a role in this one. But to understand everything, she starts...
After they tie Sam up in the bathroom to a radiator, she starts her story of what happened in camp.
And this is where we go from 1994 to 1978, and the camp is Nightwing? Nightwing. Weird camp name.
But we start off immediately by Sunnyvale trying to burn Shady Cider. Of course we do. Let's keep up on that trend of not liking any of these goddamn characters.
Yeah. And once again, continuing, and of course this is beforehand, so the hatred's still going strong. It's
Ziggy Berman that they're trying to kill because she stole money allegedly from the one. And it's a young Nick Good that saves her from not only, the situation, but getting kicked out of camp. And we meet her older sister, Cindy Berman. C. Berman. See what they did there?
Mm-hmm.
But,
and we also meet Nick's brother, too, Will.
Yeah.
Well, we met Will. We're meeting the younger versions of the older adult characters in the first film.
Yeah.
And they're all... So we do see a younger Nick. We do see a younger Will, which he's like the head counselor.
Something like that. And they're all... the weird part is that they're Sunnyvale.
Yeah. So in this one, obviously, now we're in 78. We see, Cindy, Ziggy, Nick, Will, a bunch of the side characters.
Alice and
Alice is
Tom.
just,
No, not Tommy. I don't remember what her boyfriend's name is.
No, her boyfriend. I think her boyfriend's name was Tommy.
No, that's Cindy's boyfriend. I don't remember who Alice's boyfriend is.
He was a goofy.
He was a goofy character. Him and Alice wanted drugs. That was all they wanted.
That was once again the stereotype of the 70s.
Yeah, they really homaged the
They really paid homage to the decade.
The decade of like horror, what was going on.
The whole campground scenes were like so 70s and 80s.
Yeah, the horny, drugged out counselors. And you have the feud between Sunnyvale and Shadyside still very much alive. The fact that they're wearing different colored shirts and are going to have a color war later.
It sounded so racist.
Because you're an idiot who does the thing.
So once again,
I think his name is Gary, or maybe his name is Gary.
I think it was Gary.
No, Arnie.
Arnie, yeah, that's right.
I should have Arnie. I made that note, Christine.
That was your note for like.
Well, yeah, Arnie is the main character, Christine.
So
anyway,
the experience starts with
the nurse going
AWOL,
mental, not AWOL, and we find that the nurse is Rudy Lane's mother,
right?
And she's kind of infatuated. And we've learned as it goes with finding the witch's hand to reunite it with the corpse.
Yep,
and. What we find out later is that she actually finds the layer in that Tommy's name. She says Tommy's name is written on the wall. In one way or the other, he's going to be dead by the end of the night. She tries to kill him, but he fights her off.
Yeah.
But is really shaken. And he starts hearing voices in his head. And
he slowly starts going through the things of being possessed.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to when the druggies
the druggies. Alice and
Arnie decide.
No, they break into Ruby's
nursing
station. They find the map and everything. They decide to go out and see what she's doing.
And they go to...
While that's all going on, like, you get Ziggy being bullied again by the other Sunnyvale people, and she decides she's going to act revenge, and Nick is helping her out.
And Nick and her start to have a little love story going on there.
Back with the counselors, though, they not only find that she's been digging multiple places for looking at the hand, they find the house.
The actual house of Sarah.
And when they get down there, they find a wall that has Tommy's name on it. And it freaks them out, and they're about to leave. But before they do, Tommy goes full possessed and kills Arnie. And Cindy and Alice get trapped in a cave-in in these caves. With Tommy free running around the campground.
Then you learn about the Devil's Stone, which actually is the map that they go through these tunnel ways.
Yeah, and it leads around
to the camp. And they realize that basically the camp was built on top of
what used to be her den area kind of deal.
Something like that. And so at this point, Tommy now
is running amok. He is just targeting shady side people only.
Right.
Throughout the entire camp.
Now, once again, well, I guess now that we can talk about, there was one key line in the first film, is that the witch makes up her own roles.
Yeah.
Because in the first film, the killers are only going after Sam because of the blood and disturb of the grave. But there was that one line which now we know is Ziggy. She said to them...
Well, we don't know that yet. We didn't get to that part.
Oh, yeah, well...
C. Berman
says to them, it's never over. She makes up her own roles. We kind of now see that in the second film because Tommy, like you said, is going. He's
gone. Tommy's full-on psycho killer, and he's taking out every kid in a blue shirt he comes across. It's wonderful. Kill those children.
Oh my God.
Kill those children, Justin 2021.
Yeah, hashtag it. But yeah, he does go on this rampage, and he's slicing and dicing with his axe. Now, at this same point, you still have Cindy and
Alice. Like they figured out that the little witch's map she has is a map of the caves, and it leads them to the middle, and it's like this beating gore pile, like a beating heart gore pile.
Yeah.
And when Alice touches it, she sees everything, and it freaks her out, and she ends up breaking her ankle on her
a nasty break too.
Oh yeah, that was
that thing popped out of the skin.
Someone who's broken their arm 3 times. Like I went like, oh God. that is one thing that'll give me, man. The broken bones. Oh no,
the complete broken bones. And the best part was when they were going through these tunnels and they get to the
outhouse.
Yeah, they're like, there's toilet paper. There was some jokes with Ziggy and Cindy, oh, you smell like shit.
I'm covered in it.
Yeah. There was, that little reunion because, she's trying to be the big sister. And Cindy's storyline is, she starts you think she's the preppy, perfect one, but there was a good reason for her change in her attitude because when you first see her and Alice interact, they don't look like longtime friends.
Yeah.
And then as revealed, Cindy reveals, in the heartbreaking moments is that she changed her way of life because she thought she could escape the curse of Shadyside. She thought if she did everything the right way, the perfect way, that the curse wouldn't get to her in any shape or form. And she turned on her sister Ziggy because Ziggy was a constant reminder of the old life. Same way with Alice. Yeah. They were the constant reminders that she still was friends with Alice. She loves her little younger sister. But those two were a constant reminder that she may never escape no matter what she does. And she tried to push them away from her because she didn't want to be in this curse.
Yeah.
While
they end up having to, Cindy and Alice end up having to split. Like, Cindy sends Alice ahead because she can't really move as fast. But while that happens, she starts getting nosebleed, and she realizes that something is close because of what the passage says about blood falling when Sarah is near. And she finds the hand, which becomes really important at the end of the movie.
Right.
Now, what happens is she finally gets up there. They take down Tommy for a brief moment. And they realize that with that hand, they can go and put it with the body and end the curse tonight. But Ziggy ends up bleeding on the bone. And that awakens all the monsters like we saw from the first movie.
And
that ends up, they kill, Tommy kills Alice. Alice.
Yeah, she gets it.
I'm just getting the names. But then, like, they take off running for the hang tree and they start digging. And you see all the monsters just surrounding them. And it's apparently obvious that the body's not at the tree.
Right, which, as the audience...
Yeah, we know that it's not there.
Not the same spot.
Like, we go into this knowing that C. Berman's sister dies. And you see that, like, Cindy pushes Alice, she pushes Ziggy away and tells her to run. And each of them end up getting grabbed. And you have Tommy axing Cindy, and there's a creepy guy knifing her. And that was creepy. We're going to talk about that scene some. Yeah. But then you see Nick run up on him the next day, and they're both dead, and he brings Ziggy back to life.
It's still the same night.
No, the sun comes up.
No, that's when they're in the paramedics, but he revives Ziggy.
Yeah.
Because remember, the whole point
there was
Ziggy only
there was
for
a
2 minutes.
sun thing going on here.
Yeah, they get in the ambulance in the morning time, but when Nick saves Ziggy, because remember, they made it... Ziggy only did for, like...
But it's the fact that Ziggy was the one to wake up, not C. Berman. So they're actually talking to Ziggy and not Cindy.
Right.
And Nick told the paramedics that this was Cindy.
That is true. Because Nick, Ziggy as adult, when it's all revealed, she says she thought Nick would help. And
he does, and he just goes into the flow of everything else.
Which we see him as an adult in the first film, where he tells Dina, like, this is what is going to make the press.
Yeah.
Your friends were druggies, and they do this. Nick does not want this curse to be a real thing.
Well, no, because when he tells them that, he's trying to get them to come clean with him. He doesn't want to run that. But since they won't come out with them, he has to run with it.
Yeah.
There's more to this than we've seen so far.
And that's where I think the goods are going to play a predominant, more important role in part 3. Maybe the I guess, like a lynch mob that gets there or whatever.
Let's backtrack to 78.
78 still.
Again, the gore in this was fantastic. I love the kills. Tommy, man. Oh. McCabe Style, who played him, did a great job just being possessed and just staring a hole through everyone.
And I think it's also like his, I guess, like, body transformation where he wasn't like the biggest dude, but then when he got possessed, he didn't.
He held himself differently.
Yeah, that's what I want to go with. Like, when he was good Tommy, he's like a little slunch over, interacting and all that. But then when he became possessed Tommy, he was full blown out, stretched, height, everything to his peak. And the running, even when he got how they got the knapsack bag going story arc with that, was very good. Like I said, once again, this was such a homage type of...
It was a great homage to the old campground.
And once again, obviously still keeping the film R-rated.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have made it PG-13, whatever, but they kept it
absolutely not. PG-13 just would have died with PG-13. But, like, you had so many great actors, too. Like, Sadie Sink, who played the young Ziggy, was amazing. Emily Rudd, who played Cindy as like the child, like
yeah.
not really a child, but like the older teen. She did a really, really well job. And then Jillian Jacobs, who took over as C. Berman as an adult, again, really good job. And they have like several things going on too in this movie. Like we didn't even talk about the actual end. We just talked about the end of 1978. We go back to 1994, and they're like, "We have the hand. You have the hand. We have the body.
We have knowledge of where the body's at."
It was at the mall.
Yeah, that
the whole time it was at the mall.
That threw
and
me.
Like the red peat moss was the giveaway. Like we were looking at it, and we could have connected the dots because of the red moss we saw in the movie.
Yeah, the fact that they buried a hand from '78, and they built the mall around the tree, so they had to go into the mall, dig up the hand,
and when she put it together, she snaps back in time.
Yeah,
it's like what? Where are they going? Where are we going?
And like we know we're going back to 1660. Okay, that's where we know.
1666.
1666. Okay, I thought it was 1660.
We'll find out. But the twist of what Berman's sister we were talking about was fantastic.
Right.
Because I was ready for. Oh no. Yeah, that's right. The twist that it was like I'm waiting for Ziggy to die. Like,
yeah.
We know like Ziggy's gonna die. And it's like, wait a minute, no, they switched it. Why? I actually don't understand how that worked. I loved it. I loved that twist, but I'm like, how did that work? Why did Sarah stop going? Because it's like I don't think you would have tricked Sarah that easily.
Right. I think obviously with this being a trilogy and with part 3, they're going to have to close all the gaps.
Yeah.
And close out this story off. Like I said, I think the goods are going to play a big role in it.
And, I mean, this is just at this point it's fantasy talk. I think the goods are the ones that hung Sarah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, because they do both. In the first film, there's Will as the mayor and Nick as the sheriff or captain or whatever he is. He's the top cop.
The sheriff.
Sheriff. Okay, I didn't know what department they were using.
Yeah, it's 1666, that's right.
Okay.
But I shouldn't have looked at that.
He broke his thing.
I'm not going to say it, but the stories just got you like so hooked.
But then, like the goods in the 70s as young goods,
and in Sunnyvale, like they started in Sunnyvale, they weren't Shady Side.
And at the camp, you learned that Nick and Will's father was the sheriff. So it's like, okay, Nick was labeled the heir apparent to be the sheriff. Will became the mayor. So, it just feels like the goods are going to play a bigger role in the third film in the 1600s, where they hung Sarah and everything like that. So they might have been leading the lynch mob or Union place to do all this, and this is why they're such both a gift and a curse to the series.
Yeah. There's so many different ways it can go.
And
again, I gotta talk about it. Stop it with the music. I'm gonna give you a little bit of credit here because of my love for Carry On My Wayward Son. But man, stop the music. And this scene with the Berman sisters dying. That slow motion ruined it.
Really?
Oh, it killed it. The slow motion killed that scene. Like, it was still, like, heart-wrenching and twist worked. But, like, no. Just let the murder happen. Don't stop it with the slow motion. It's overplayed.
Now, off camera, you made the point of when we were off camera coming here to do this. What kind of music will they use in 1666?
No doubt, in Mahjong. That's what's going to be happening.
So, overall, though, part 2, how do you feel about it?
It is better than the first.
Better than first?
By a decent amount. That's saying something because the first one was A+ for me. So this is S tier, 100%. Flaws and all, little flaws and all.
Every movie is not without a flaw. So I'm going to honestly give it probably like a 98.
Yeah.
Now I read some of the reviews from other people.
Don't do that.
I always do just to see what they say.
Dear God, why? Who cares what they say?
And some of them put out like this was not better than the first one.
This was better than the first one.
This was better because they went full on the lore.
I think just not having the idiots in the schoolhouse made it better.
Yeah, I mean, you had the stereotype druggies.
Yeah, like you did, but this seemed better.
It seemed more fitting that they would have them in the film, like where Kate and Simon were more just out of like put in there for like the comedy, and it just didn't fit too well.
I mean, they were fine. They were fine, but like you wanted them to die quickly.
So now,
I will say this: Olivia Scott Welch, Sam. You only see her for like a couple minutes. She's fantastic. Just like that possessed animal that's trying to break loose of that's hard to do. But like, she did it well.
So now we look forward to part 30, and we know it's going to be in 1666. How part 2 ends makes you think that there could be a different couple directions.
Yeah, there's so many. Like I said, there's so many ways it can go right now. Being that looks like, is it just Tiana in the past? Is it?
No, they had
Josh.
Ziggy. They had everybody.
Yeah, I saw everyone. Like these all the victims. Is this some kind of Sarah Theor twist? Like they're not actually there, but they're living it.
Yeah, or is it
like
the direct descendants that hey, and sometimes they always say like. You may look like your great.
Yeah, let's hope not. We don't go that way. Just throw that out the window. It's a bad writing.
That's the thing, though. That's still one of the possibilities.
Yeah, but that's bad writing. Let's not aim for bad. We know we've probably not seen the last adult C. Berman or adult Ziggy. And Nick Good is probably going to come back. And obviously, I think there's going to be running 2 parallel storylines here.
Would that be the best scenario, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be that. Like, there's so many ways this can go, but I do think like this third one can either make this trilogy like an iconic great, or it can kind of like, they were almost there.
The crazy thing is most trilogies take 6 to 8 years to complete. We're hyped about a trilogy that's
3 weeks, 3-week trilogy. Yes.
There should be more like this.
Like this was great. Like this feels like like I said the last one. This feels like an event, like a must-see thing, and it's fantastic.
I even appreciated the previous and continue type.
No, I don't want to see any of that continue. Never show that again. Get rid of that.
You ain't going to see if you see that on 3, then you know there's going to be 4, 5, and 6.
It's like trailers are awful. Don't give me continuations either.
But
you had me sold at the end of each movie. I'm ready to go.
We are both looking forward to the third film.
Yeah.
So, until next time.
Bye-bye.